good, Tony? All right, everyone. Welcome to DisclosureFest 2019. Awesome. Hopefully the sun will come out later, and it's going to be a beautiful day. We're really looking forward to it. We're going to start things off with a great speaker for you. If anyone can find this disclosure tent, we were walking around all over this morning trying to find it ourselves. So our first speaker is an internationally known master healer who's dedicated his life to elevating human consciousness. He's been studying Eastern and Western masters from across the globe for 30 years. Buddhism, Hinduism, shamanism. If you watch his stuff online on YouTube, it's this whole shamanistic ritual. It's pretty amazing. He then received a series of downloads from beings identifying themselves as fifth dimensional guides. This gave him an innate ability to perform psychic surgery, X-ray vision, and turned his right hand into a high-frequency transmitter. So he founded the Fifth Dimensional Quantum Healing and Awareness Program, and it's a shamanic practice performed by a healer who has access to a subatomic field of energy, and from that realm, an extraordinary intelligence becomes available, which can lead to seemingly miraculous healing on all levels: spiritual, mental, emotional, and even physical. And I've seen people online say that they physically felt different after this experience. It's pretty incredible. With divine guidance, he brings you to that place of silence and stillness where the real you exists. He can also heal by touching your third eye and activating the pineal gland, which of course produces DMT, which makes it clear that we are all connected to one another and all connected to everything. He's helped thousands of people around the world by removing these obstacles that prevent them from experiencing their inner peace, their inner silence, self-love, and reintroduces them to their true self on a soul level. Please join me now in welcoming to the stage Zarathustra. Thank you, brother.
Welcome, everybody. Can you pull this down a little bit? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, great. Yeah, this is. Yeah, maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. I'm going to be talking about how you can operate from this level you're at if you raise your vibrations to 5D quantum awareness and 5D quantum consciousness, and how you would be living life from that level. And before I start explaining that a little bit more to you, I'm just going to bring it up just a little bit more, please. Yeah, thank you. Should have just... Yeah, this is good. Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Wonderful. So let's talk about what is fifth dimension, 5D, because these days, a lot of people are interested in fifth dimension. And in a nutshell, fifth dimension is a unified field of oneness, a unified field of oneness without the illusion of duality. So let me give you an abstract visualization image of it. Imagine that there's only water, it's ocean, okay? And there's no land, there's no beaches, there's no mountains, there's nothing except water. It's only beautiful blue water, okay? And there's nothing to compare anything to it. There's not even a boat on the water or any birds or anything. It's just pure aqua blue water. So fifth dimension is a unified field of oneness without the illusion of duality. So when you reach your consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness, then you dissolve into that. You become one with it. So it's not going to be like you arrive to fifth dimensional consciousness and then there's you being able to say, wow, this is really cool, and I really dig fifth dimension, because now there's a you experiencing fifth dimension. You will be dissolved into it. So in a way, it's the dissolution of who you think you are into the oneness by reaching into fifth dimensional consciousness. Okay? So now we all reside in fifth dimension as we are. We have a foot in other dimensions. Simultaneously, your higher self exists in all dimensions as you are standing or sitting here. Imagine that you're connected to every single dimension. And all your intuitive knowing, all your intuitive understanding is coming from 5D consciousness. So because you do have 1 foot in fifth dimension, you do reside in that consciousness, and you do get information from there, your intuition. So understanding this part, you can kind of relax into it and not have to stress about, I need to get to 5D awareness, and I need to get to it, I need to get to it. You can just relax because you're already in it. And you experience it, you tap into it every now and then, but if there is no point of reference, you don't know that you're operating from that place. I'm going to give you an example. Many times during life, it happens that you're doing something. Let's say you're going for a run, and you're running, and you get into this groove of running. And you kind of lose yourself on the path you're running. You lose yourself. You don't know if you're your shoes. You don't know if you're the runner. You don't know if you're the path. You don't know if you're the air. You become one with everything. And there is no one doing anything. Doing is happening, and no one is doing it. And that is when you have tapped into your fifth dimensional self. It's a complete oneness without any kind of illusion of duality. No one is doing something. Something is happening on its own. Now, having said that, let's talk about how can we reach and operate from this place and then be able to have 1 foot in ordinary life. So let's say somebody may come and say, I'm a mom, I have children, I take my kids to school, I have to pay my bills, I stress, and how can I do tap into this place, and then I fall out of it, but how can I remain in this place all the time and operate from this place? So, in order to reach this place and to be able to really dive into it and operate from it on a regular basis, this particular place, because it's oneness, and it's not an object, so it's not something that you can think about, because the moment you start thinking of a place of oneness, you're already creating an image. There's a visual image of being one. So this image that is going in your mind, it becomes an object. Same as whatever you're thinking. All of your thoughts are really objects. If they weren't objects, you wouldn't be able to notice them. You're noticing the stream of thoughts going through your mind. That's because they're objects traveling through and you're able to perceive them. Either you're seeing them or you're hearing them, or you're somehow noticing objects traveling through your mind. Same way, whatever you're feeling, all of your feelings, they come and go. And you notice your feelings. You wake up in the morning And you may feel, I'm going to let for this helicopter to pass. You wake up in the morning and you may feel some anxiety. And some anxiety is happening in you, and you're feeling the fear, anxiety, something has happened. And then by noon time, the anxiety is gone, and you feel very calm. Then it comes in the afternoon, and you get some news, and you get really happy. Now, happiness arrives. And then by nighttime, you're tired, and then you feel ordinary, and then you sleep. So what happens here? There's a you present, and there is some emotion traveling through you, and you notice these emotions traveling, and they appear and they disappear. So if something is traveling through you and appears and disappears, that is an object. We can call it an object that is coming and going through you because you notice it. It's not there all the time. It comes and goes. But who notices these things? From the time you wake up in the morning to the time you sleep, who notices your thoughts? Who's hearing these thoughts? The thoughts appearing to you. And even when you sleep at night and you're dreaming, who is dreaming? To whom this dream is happening? And the dream seems to be real, very real when you're in your dreams. And then when you wake up, sometimes when it's a nightmare, you say, thank God I was dreaming, and this wasn't happening to me, right? So to whom does this dream appear? So it's very clear that there is an observer, there's an awakened being here, whatever you want to call it, whether you want to say it's you or not. Someone is fully awake, and something here is fully aware and is aware of things traveling through it, is aware of thoughts traveling through it, and it's aware of emotions traveling through it. And when this thing opens up its eyes, can see objects passing in front of it as well. And this thing, this awakened thing, is also aware of time passing by. It's aware of governments come and go, different presidents, they get elected and they finish their terms. Economies come and go, is aware of its friends, families appear, disappear, loved ones appear and they disappear. This awakened being is simply aware of things moving in front of it, coming and going, is aware of change. So, let's say this is you. You are here and you're completely awakened, always been awakened, never been asleep, aware of things passing in front of you. But you are not going anywhere. You are completely still and completely available, always, whether you know it or you don't know it, and things appearing and disappearing in front of you. You can examine that in any moment. It's very, very simple. You can simply take a look inside your mind to see if there's any thoughts or not. If you're feeling anything, what do you feel in this moment? Or nothing. And then it goes away. If there is something, it passes through. So this part of you that is aware of changes, things rising and falling, movements, and this part of you that simultaneously is aware of silence, is aware of nothing is happening, this part is your fifth dimensional self. This is the part of you that resides in the 5D. Because this part of you is the only part that does not change. It's always still and it's always silent. Now, I'm going to show this to you. And at any moment that you're willing to, without any kind of former training and any meditation or any kind of changes in your life, it's very, very simple. You can do this at any time, anywhere, no matter what is going on. All you have to do is a willingness to shift your attention from what is moving and what is changing into yourself, your 5D, your fifth dimensional self, which is present and is here and is observing. So if you simply shift your attention for one moment, you're going to have a glimpse of your own self, of your own beauty. So all you need to do is one simple thing. You don't need to do put your attention on your breath. You don't need to do a mantra. You don't need to do any visualizations. This is completely effortless. If you're going to put any effort into it, you're doing it wrong. So this is very simple. Simply shift your attention from what's outside, including your thoughts or your emotions, and bring your attention inwards to one point where you are observing and you're hearing things, not what you're observing and what you're hearing. Bring your attention inside to your source. Just shift it right now. Simply put your attention on you, the observer, the aware one, the one that can hear things, but not what he, she is hearing. Do that for a moment. And in that very moment, let's see what happens. It's effortless. It's super, super simple. Does not require any kind of changes. You don't have to become vegetarian or give up your glass of wine, shave your head, change your clothes, or anything. Absolutely zero effort. All you have to do is for one moment shift your attention and look at yourself, the one who can hear what I'm saying, but not what I'm saying. The one who can hear the thoughts, but not the thoughts. And in an instant, everything becomes quiet. And all of a sudden, you experience your 5D self. It's pure, it's still, it's majestic, it's very expanded, and it's very present. And what happens is, as you begin to turn your attention inwards and tap into this other part of yourself, the greater part of yourself, is what happens is your vibration starts to rise. your vibration starts to rise to a higher frequency. And as your vibration's rising to a higher frequency, something very interesting happens, because it's like shifting the TV channel to a different channel. So now, by raising your vibrations to a higher frequency, the reality of your life begins to change. And this is very different than trying to do positive visualization or positive thinking. In positive visualizations, you're activating your mind, you're activating your thoughts. In 5D quantum consciousness, you're deactivating your thinking mind. And you're disconnecting from that by shifting your attention into one-pointedness and bringing your attention to who you are, that which is already here, and by recognition of a space which is already present. I'm going to repeat this part again. By recognizing a space which is already here, the recognition of that space, which is you, it's your fifth dimensional self, and it's present, and it's here, and it's being used as the background to hear thoughts and to notice emotions and feelings. But it's not connected to your thoughts, and it's not connected to your emotions. Your emotions simply passing through it. And that's how you are aware of what you're thinking about. And that's how you're aware of what you're feeling, because they get compared to this place. They get compared to something that doesn't change. Something's always steady and the same, aware of what is passing through. And in this recognition, if you realize that, then you can become free of your thoughts and your emotions, because you can see that your thoughts and your emotions, they have nothing to do with you. They're just passing through. And you're not a victim of them, and you're not a slave. And the fact that your mood swings, they go up and down, they can't do anything to you, who's the observer. The mood swings cannot do anything to the power of observer, the power of awareness. The one who's aware of the mood swings doesn't go up and down. Your awareness doesn't change. And it doesn't matter what kind of craziness is going in your head. All of a sudden, maybe madness is happening and you got really bad news, or your sweetheart decided to break up with you and your emotions are ups and downs, and you have crazy thoughts or whatever is going on. None of them can really touch you if you recognize this space, this place. If you bring your attention on this place and keep your focus on this place, you're going to discover yourself that you are completely in inner peace at all times, anywhere you are, regardless. You could be stuck in a heavy traffic downtown LA on 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, and you're completely in a state of bliss, completely unaffected by the traffic, and you feel total bliss no matter what is going on, because your attention has come to yourself. You're focused on your 5D consciousness, the part of you that resides in fifth dimension and is pure stillness, and it's silent, and it's the observer. And the observer doesn't care what it's observing. Does anybody have any questions for me? Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say we kind of have a slip of forgetfulness.
Uh-huh.
You're in a wild dance. They shouldn't have said that. I should have said that.
Can you speak a little bit louder? Yeah. Yeah. First of all, nice to see you. I've seen you at my other events. I think you came to the one at the Gateway.
No,
No?
I missed it, but
Right. Okay, you look familiar.
yeah, you
What
did too.
What is your name?
My name's Larry.
Larry. Hi, I'm Zarathustra.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I've been meditating for a while,
Uh-huh.
and still sometimes to me life happens. Something happens, you get that phone call or the message
Yeah.
from the wife, and you get caught up. And maybe a long period of time goes by, and you're in the wild dance, and then you
Yeah.
say, oh. By that time, your digestion is messed up, and you're upset. How can we
Right.
claim after a slip, you know?
Right, exactly. Well, number one is when you remember this again. So, has anything happened? When you come back to this place, right? Okay, let's say first you recognize this place, right? And then you get involved in daily life and you forget. So that means you identify with your thoughts. You got some bad news and you really identify with it and your mind's going crazy. And then you have all these emotional ups and downs because something's happening. All of a sudden they audited you and you have to pay $50,000 or something like that happened. Or you got some bad news that, they want you to go back and do another test because you may, have cancer or whatever. So you get some bad news and then you get fully activated. And you get very involved with the story, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens afterwards when you remember that it's a story and your attention comes back into yourself and you dive back into your silence? So where is the story now?
The story is outside of me.
Yeah, the story becomes a thought, isn't it? And it becomes non-existing. So every time you come back into this place is as if you never left. Right?
The blood pressure normalizes.
Yeah.
The calmness comes back.
Exactly.
In, sanity approaches.
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
That was wild. I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot. Now you remember again. So you're back home again. Right? So that's one thing. Another thing is what I recommend is a very simple exercise. Because for thousands of years, we've been conditioned, and I'm not into going into past lives or stuff like that because I don't even know if they exist or they don't. It's not my right now experience. But let's hang on to this life because this one is a handful, and it takes a lifetime to mastering this one. So let's hang on to this one, right? For all of your life, you've been conditioned from childhood to really believe that what you're thinking is who you are. And what you're feeling is you. So there's a very strong identification from very early age that you are your thoughts and you are your emotions and you are the meat that is growing. And so what you want to do is, in order to unclutch from these lifetime conditioning, it's going to take a little bit time a little bit of effort into unclutching from it. Now, how do you unclutch from it? It's very simple. You're welcome to sit down if you want to sit down. How you unclutch from it is very simple. You want to, because basically you want to become free. And ultimately, I'm assuming everybody's here are having one common goal. And that one common goal is we all want to be happy. I've never met anyone in my life who comes and tells me, I don't want to be happy, I want to suffer, or I want, my partner to die, or my kids to get in a car crash and I suffer from it. I've never met that person in my life. Everybody wants to be happy. Now, their perception of happiness may be different, but they want to be happy. That's what we want, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how are you going to be happy? How can you be happy? We've been conditioned that happiness is when I get what I want, correct?
Yes.
When I get what I want, I'm happy. So I finally get the convertible Porsche, and that makes me happy. I get the house that I wanted. That makes me happy. I get the lady I wanted to be with. I'm going to be happy. I get the life I wanted. I'm going to be happy. But these are objects. And so when I get the object of desire, it's going to make me happy short term. So I finally got the car, and then a year after, 6 months after, I'm tired of it. Now I want a different car. Or it never ends. So we're happy as long as you get what you want and as long as things go your way. But things don't always go your way. Maybe if you're lucky, half of the time in your life things go your way. The other half of the time, they fall apart. So our happiness is conditional. And also the love we get, that we're looking for love, it's conditional. Because we're looking for love to get it from someone or a situation. That I'm going to manipulate this in this way or that way so somebody loves me. Or even with our parents, you have to do something to get love. Like be a good boy and eat your spaghetti and take your vitamins, and your mom at the end of the night says, oh, you're such a good boy, I love you, you do all the things right. And then you get a hug and you get love. So what happens is you get conditioned to believe that happiness is an object, so I have to do something to get something to be happy. B is love is something I have to go get it from the outside. It's not already here. So for that, I have to manipulate things, like be a good boy, go to school, get my degree, and and maybe I meet the Mrs. Right, or be a model citizen, so I get approval from the community, and they tell me that I'm good, so I get acceptance. So already we're projecting things on the outside, and then we start on this process of trying to get these things that is going to make us happy and hopefully make us whole. But since it's not really there, it doesn't exist. It's not there. So you run around and you get these things, and they give you a short-term satisfaction, but they normally turn to be sour. So now you're chasing this all your life. As you're doing this, you're also conditioned to believe that what you're thinking, all of your thoughts representing who you are. Whatever I'm thinking, I think I'm my thoughts. And whatever emotions I'm feeling, I'm experiencing, because I'm conditioned in this way, I believe that what I feel is who I am. And everybody else around me is supporting this illusion. I don't have anyone telling me from childhood, as I'm growing up, is telling me, listen, Zarathustra, you are not your emotions. And you're not your thoughts. And let me tell you something else. You're not even this body. Okay. All of a sudden you come across that. Why? Why you're not your thoughts, or why you're not your emotions, and why you're not your body is because you can see them. Because you're aware of their movements. You can observe your thoughts. They pass through. They're not there all the time. They change. So if something's passing through your mind and it's changing in comparison to you who is here, then that thing is an object. Same thing with your emotions. You're happy in the morning, you're sad by noon, you're depressed by evening time, you're jealous by night. They come and go. And they present themselves to you. But you're the one who doesn't come and go. You're here completely aware of what's coming and going. So, okay, so how do I get over this? What is the tool I'm going to use? How can I free myself from these thousands of years old of conditioning, getting conditioned and suffering from unhappiness? How can I be happy? Well, it's very, very easy. It takes a little bit of effort and attention, but it's super easy. But it requires someone who is also honest with themselves and somebody who really wants to do it, which I tell you, majority of people on the planet, they're not ready for this. But there's this movement happening of raising our consciousness to 5D. So something is cooking and something is drawing us to this. And the interesting thing is that the moment you touch it, it gets you. The moment you shift your attention, it catches you because it's real. And you recognize it within yourself. Because the truth of who you are residing in 5D consciousness. So when you come across this, it immediately is recognized. Now back to what you said, how do I deal with this? It's very simple. Is if you start a very simple practice and reconditioning yourself, which is almost really effortless. And I understand when I say this, some of you, your mind is going to come and say, no, Zarathustra, this cannot be so simple. I have to change my diet, or I have to shave my head, or I have to go to Tibet, or do all kinds of jumping jacks. So I'm not worthy enough to do it, but I'm telling you, it's so easy that 99% of spiritual teachers on the planet, they miss it, or more than 99%, because it's so simple and it's so in front of you that you can't see it. Is one simple thing. You shift your attention, and rather than putting your attention on what you're feeling, first of all, this is how you're going to deal with your emotions. You get up in the morning and anxiety comes, and all of a sudden you're in anxiety or you're afraid or something happened. All you have to do is simply look at it, not visualizing, not doing any kind of positive affirmations, not pushing it away. Don't do any of these things because they don't work. You simply look at your emotion and you acknowledge its presence, that it's here, and anxiety is here, and you tell yourself, anxiety is visiting me. Fear is visiting me. You look at it and you feel it. Feel it. Don't push it away. Feel it, but you don't identify with it. You're simply acknowledging its presence. What you identify with is that you are pure awareness. And your job is to be aware of things that passing through. Like right now, I'm aware of the sensations of a cool breeze on my body. I can't deny, I can't just not be aware of it, because that's my job, to be aware. I have nervous system to be aware of things. So you're simply staying in your position of being awareness, not being a human being. You're aware of anxiety visiting you, and you acknowledge it, it's here. You sense it, you feel it. You don't even try to let go. People tell me, then you let go. No, that's work. You don't need to let go. You're simply be aware. And it goes away. And something else comes. Maybe anger comes. And you do the same thing. You simply acknowledge the presence of the emotion. Anger is here. Anger is visiting me. You look at it. You feel it because you can't do anything about it. It's bigger than you. And then the next thing is it's gone. But you maintain your position. Your position is to be the observer. Same thing with your thoughts. There's a stream of thoughts going, so you're getting thought bombardments, thoughts after thoughts after thoughts. You simply take a look at them. Look at your thoughts. And acknowledge that there's a thought bombardments happening. And that's the news. This is what's going on. You take a look, okay, this is what's going on right now. And that's all. And they lose their power immediately because that's not who you are. When you think you are your thoughts and your emotions, that's where you get into trouble, and that's why this is what's happening. And millions of people are doing therapy work trying to fix you, but there's nothing to fix. So it doesn't get fixed. Now I'm going to show you this. It's very simple. For one moment again, I want to show you who you are. And is always here. Your higher self, the part of you resides in fifth dimension, is here right now. And that's the part of you has brought you here. All you have to do is a very simple thing. Shift your attention from putting your attention on your thoughts, from putting your attention on your emotions or your sensations. Shift your attention, bring your attention on you, the source, the observer, the one who hears the thoughts but is not the thoughts. Instead of putting your attention on your thoughts or your emotions, put your attention on the observer, the one who's aware of them. Okay? Let's do that. Close your eyes for a moment. And just bring your attention inwards towards the one who is aware, but not what is aware of. And if you get involved with your thoughts, again, simply you bring your attention back inwards to the source. And now you can come back again. Is it quiet or it's busy? Silent. So how difficult was that? Do you have to go to Tibet? Do you have to go to Vipassana meditation? Do you have to quit eating meat or become vegetarian? What is it you have to do to be silent? Huh? Just be. Switch your attention to the observer. Too much attention on the thoughts. we've been conditioned, as I mentioned to you earlier, your attention is on your thoughts, your attention is on your emotions. Therefore, you're going to be up and down all the time because that's what you think you are. The moment you bring your attention to the truth of who you are, which is the observer, not what is observing, the one that is aware, but not what it's aware of. You're putting your attention that you're aware of your ups and downs, but not on the one that is aware. So all you do is a simple act. Shift your attention to the source. And immediately you become disconnected from what is happening. You're aware of what is happening, but you're not concerned. You're not involved with it anymore. And this doesn't require any effort. So as you start to practice this during the day, before you have a crisis, so what happens is this becomes your routine. And since this is directing you to inner peace, so it carries you through. It picks up a mind of its own. Because the more your attention goes towards the source of yourself, the more you're quiet, the more it's silent. So you're operating during the day, during your life, but there's no thoughts. You're just operating from silence. It's very quiet, and then when an emotion or a thought comes, you see it. You are aware of it, and it goes. Sometimes maybe it's strong, it's a big storm coming, but that's okay. You're still aware of it, and you're feeling it. It's like today is cloudy. But when the clouds go away, what do you see? When you look up, the sky is blue. And the sky is always blue. It doesn't matter how many storms in your life come and go. Same thing, it doesn't matter how many storms come and go. The sky it's never not blue. The sky doesn't come and say, you know what, I've gone through a lot of stuff, and the weather's been shit, and it's been 6 months of thunder and lightning and all kinds of things, and my feelings are hurt, and I'm going to be kind of pink. I won't be blue anymore. The sky doesn't give a shit. So no matter what happens, at the end of the day, when all the clouds go away, the sky is blue. The same thing with you. The real you is always here. It's silent. It's like you. I'm going to give you a visual demonstration of who you are. This is who you are. Who you are is stillness and silent. That's why you can hear your thoughts, because the moving objects getting compared to that which doesn't move. Otherwise, how would you know you're thinking? How do you know you have a busy mind? You say, oh, Zarathustra, I have a busy mind. My mind is driving me crazy. Okay, well, how do you know that? Because if you were your mind, you would never know you're thinking. Thinking would be your only reality. How do you know you're thinking? Because your thought pattern is getting compared to something which is not moving. Something is very still, is aware of thoughts. That's why when you don't have the crazy thoughts, you say, oh my God, I feel so peaceful. Because you're comparing things, there's something getting compared to something. And that's in the 3D world. The third dimension is the dimension of duality. We have the man and the woman. We have the day and we have the night. We have summer and we have winter. Everything is going to be in duality. You have white and black. You have to have the contrast in third dimension. But in fifth dimension, there is no contrast because there's only one. As I mentioned earlier, imagine that there's only ocean. For one moment, visualize that there's only ocean. There's no land, there's no beaches, there's no mountains, there's no trees. It's only ocean. There's no boats or birds. It's only ocean. So it's only oneness. There's nothing to compare itself against. And that's who you really are. You are the oneness. You're the stillness. You're silent and you're present. You've always been present here. Always here. Cannot be anywhere else because there is no other place except here. And there is no other time except now. And you can never be outside of any of them, no matter how hard you try. So you're always here because you are the presence. Aware of objects traveling through you, including your body. This is another object you're aware of. You've seen it from childhood growing up. You were 5 years old. You had an awareness that you are. You're 10 years old. You have an awareness that you are. You don't know about spirituality or 5D or any of these things, but you're aware that you are. Nobody needs to go and teach a 5-year-old, hey, Johnny, you are. Of course, he is. You go through puberty, your body starts to change, your agenda's changing. Before you were playing with toys, now you want to play with boys or girls. Your agenda is changing, your body's changing, but the sense of I am doesn't change. You still know that you are. You go in your 20s, I don't know, now you're in college, or go drinking, you're chasing boys, girls, having fun, fast cars, parties, whatever. You still know that you are. Your emotions change, your character has changed, your personality has developed, but the sense of I am remains the same. It's the same I am as it was when you were 5 years old. Now you're getting older, you get married, having kids, having a career or whatever is going on. Maybe you have health issues, they take you to the hospital, they take one of your kidneys out, you're losing body parts or whatever, but the sense of I am remains the same. You're still here. It's still the same I am as it was when it was 5 years old. I am does not change. Does not evolve, doesn't need to evolve because I am is I am, and it's always here. It's the same I am running through 7 billion people. It's the same spirit present in every living being. It's the same one. It's the same electricity going through every appliance, whether it's a mic or it's speaker or it's a computer or it's an iPhone, it doesn't matter. It's the same electricity. It's the same presence. It's the same I am. And you are that. So simply bring your attention to who you really are. And then your story becomes just a thought. It's a story. And where is it really? Where is your past? Where is your life? You're here right now. Show me your life. Show me your past. Where is it? Can you show it to me? Or it's only in your thoughts. It's your memory, isn't it? And how much of it is it accurate? How much of your past you really remember? It's really a shift in attention that you can spontaneously, you become free. You can completely awaken spontaneously if you're only willing to shift your attention. Take your attention away from the story you've been told and you think it is, including your thoughts, your emotions, the body, and bring your attention inwards to I am, you, the awareness. 5 minutes, thank you. And see what happens. And what happens is the more you become quiet, you start experiencing inner peace and inner silence. The more you're quiet, the less you think. Okay? This is completely opposite of what everyone has ever taught you. Do not think if you want to enter into fifth dimension. Thoughts are not welcome in 5D. Because thoughts are objects and they create duality. You have to be completely silent. And the more you're silent, the higher become your vibrations. There's never been an awakened being, an enlightened master produced on this planet with a busy mind. They all arrived to the kingdom of heaven from being silent. Means no thoughts. So the more you're quiet, the higher are your vibrations. They rise to a higher frequency. The higher you rise, the reality changes. The world you're perceiving will change according to your consciousness. This is different than visualization. Visualization is not the way, because that's activating your thought process. That keeps you in 3D. You become a slave. You remain a slave. You never become free. This is no thoughts, pure silence and stillness. You're here, you're still, and you're quiet. And your vibration starts to rise to a higher frequency. And as you're going to a higher frequency, reality of the world has to change to match up where you're at. And your life will change. And things starts to appear. You'll have access to the realities that you have read about, but you can't get to it, or you think you may need substance to get to it. But the access to these other realities become an everyday, normal part, becomes a part of your everyday life without trying to do anything. Things starts to come to you. Okay. My name is Zarathustra. I'm the founder of Fifth Dimensional Quantum Healing and Awareness. My website is zarathustra.tv. I will be having some more events in Long Beach, California. It's free events that I offer. I'm going to be posting them up. They're going to be sometimes towards the end of July and August. And I also offer an academy. It's called Fifth Dimensional Academy of Higher Consciousness. I broadcast every week on Tuesdays from 10 to 11:15. It's a free event. You're welcome to join in. There's no obligations, and you can come and go as you wish. Thank you very much for having me. God bless you. Namaste.